Hello, it is 9 p.m. in Djibouti. It's time to English New Edition. And for tonight's headlines, we have an awareness meeting for sports associations in the Secretary of State for Youth and Sports. Concerning international scene, Israeli Navy says aid ship while in Gaza. Welcome to our newsroom. The member of the delegations who participate joint forums of the Chinese Institute of Contemporary International Relations and Carter Center focus on the communication and cooperation between China and USA that took place on Thursday, where was invited to discover the telecommunications infrastructure of Djibouti, and members of this delegation were invited to visit the submarine cable landing stations at Hormuz. Welcomed by the main officials of the center, the delegation was treated to the presentations on the various advantages offered by these underwater highways, which should be recalled, filled several countries on the sub-region. These sessions was followed by guided tours of the site, which allowed the delegation to take a close look at the state-of-the-art equipment of this landing station, which makes Djibouti the only country in the Eastern African continent to be connected simultaneously to the cable EC, EIG, and CCOM. The Minister of Health, Dr. Jama Oki, chaired a meeting focused on evaluating the effectiveness of the response plans initiated against measles, acute diarrhea, and malaria. To this end, the Minister of Health has invited all the directors of the hospital, central directors, head of cross-cutting program, and member of the health inspectorate to make an update on the prevalence of these three diseases in the Republic of Djibouti. The discussion therefore focused on the response plan against the recent measles outbreak, through which a target measles vaccination campaign was launched, through which is 6,000 children have been immunized to date. It should be noted that this targeted campaign is continuing in the neighborhoods and has already helped to contain the spread of measles virus, which results in a drastic drop in the admissions rate of measles cases in hospitals. Then regarding the report on the situations of acute diarrhea, which had touched the north of the country, the health officials showed the success of the response plan, as no new cases of diarrhea has been reported for 2 weeks. The Minister of Health has declared the removal of treatment centers while advocating the presence of a sentinel team in the file. And finally, to combat episodic outbreak of malaria, the Ministry of Health has adopted a multifaceted control strategy that combines both fumigation and spread actions, as well as a massive mass distribution campaign for impregnated mosquito nets that will begin mid-September and will be conducted through the country. The Embassy of the Republic of Djibouti organized on July 30, 2018 a reception gathering all the friends of country in Japan. This commemoration was an opportunity to recall that the values that the Republic of Djibouti and Japan share, namely peace, solidarity, respect for human rights. Solidarity was symbolized by the presence of the Djiboutian delegation composed of 8 school boys and 2 accompagners. They were the hosts of the municipality of Minamizona Mati City, now rebuilt thanks to the resilience of the Japanese people during their stay in Japan. They participate in the famous Samwa Namwa festival and visit several cultural historical sites. The celebrations of Djibouti was honored by the presence of the following personality who did not fail to recall the relationship of friendship between our two countries. Mr. Manabu, members of House Representative, Deputy Parliament Minister for Foreign Affairs, Mr. Yasutoshi, members of the House Department, Deputy and Djiboutian Friendship Parliamentary Association is Yoshiro Aisawa, members of the House Representative, President of the Japan-African Union, the President of the Businesses Friendship Association, Djibouti, Japan, the Ambassador of the Djibouti to Japan, His Excellency Ahmed Rait Ali, and his speech cited the excellent relations between Djibouti and Japan, while highlighting the singular characters of the Republic of Djibouti, known for its commitment to peace, both regional and continental. And the joint Adidas mission is represented by Mr. Galab Hassan and Abdullah Mutuna, and the Turkish TIKA agency represented by the director Mohammed went to Assassan villages in the Obok region. The main objective of this mission was to distribute first of aid health kit to Assassan residents. Deputy Prefect Ali Maki, chairman of the Regional Council Mohammed Hamad, and the villages, as well as the beneficiary, all appreciate this initiative of IDDS and TIKA. The Obok Regional Council's president emphasized that the region is ready to support TIKA and ADDS in their local development efforts. For his part, the President of the Regional Councils of Obok, Mr. Mohammed Ahmed Ismail, has thanked the effort of the TIKA agency to help the people. He said there is a good sense of brotherhood and friendship between the two people and country. On Monday, the prefectures of Arta received an official visit from the new representative of the FAO in the Republic of Djibouti, and from IGAD, Dr. Piasang, accompanied by Dr. Faligeye, for meetings of work and consultations with the administrative authorities of the region of Arta. The new representative of the FAO has a long talk with the interim prefect of Arta, Mr. Mohammed Fauzi Ahmed, on the main achievement of FAO and the future recommendations for a better development of agro-livestock and animal health. The delegation led by Dr. Dadamano, they moved to the regional councils to visit the chairman on the board of Arta, Elmi Bouhgoudade, to discuss ways to strengthen FAO's activities in the regions. And once a week, the medical hospital centers of Tajura conduct a medical assistance operation for migrants. CMH Tajura Chief Dr. Hassan and his team travel the corridor to provide care and assistance to migrants. Indeed, these humanitarian actions are undertaken as part of the project of mobile clinic that aim to provide primary and emergency health care to these populations made vulnerable by dangerous movement, and also to reduce mortality on this migratory route, while by preventing the associated health risks. In addition, the Minister of Health has strengthened the human and material capacity of all health facilities along the migratory corridor that are also mobilized to assist migrants. This medical humanitarian initiative stems from the political visions of the President of the Republic, Ismail Margele, which ideally reflect these cultures of hospitality and openness there to our nation is unanimously recognized as a heaven of peace and land of meeting and exchanges. And under the auspices of the Secretary for Youth and Sport, yesterday the Hassan Guled Stadium hosted an important sensibilization meeting that brought together many executives and dozens of associations from the capital and 5 regions of the interior. These associations, which are qualified as active organizations and working in close collaboration with the State Secretariat for Youth and Sport across the country with the national communities, are identified by the heads of the Community Development Center under the supervision of the CDC Director, Ms. Roqia Hassan Sheikh. Note the presence of Ms. Roqia Hassan Sheikh, the head of the Planning Department, Quraish Ali Gedi, Mr. Ali Ahmed, the head of the CDC. According to the director of the CDC, the goal of this meeting between the Secretary of State for Youth and Sport leaders and these non-profit entities is to build on the strengths of the nation to promote the integration and development of youth. It was also questions of identifying sports and printing association to remedy certain disparities, to focus on supporting the organizations that meet our mission by virtues of the sovereign powers that confer on us. Youth associations can play the role of peer educators and stimulate the implementation of the youth orientation policy initiated by the head of state. This is less the conviction is displayed by Ms. Roqia. Vivid debate and sound consultations with recommendation that will be the subjects of a synthesis closed the event. And after 5 days of work, theory and practices, the high-level regional arbitration courses given to the referee of the 3 countries, Djibouti, Somalia, and South Sudan, just ended yesterday at the technical centers of the Djiboutian Football Federation, organized under the auspices of the Djiboutian Federation of Football. About the 30 referees attend this training. This training of arbitration is organized by the assistance of the International Federation. In recent times, we have seen the evolutions of referee in the world of football with the entry into services of a new technology in this sporting discipline. These training seminars brought together some 30 nationals and international referee assistances from 3 countries, Djibouti, Somalia, and South Sudan. Participants had theoretical lesson on the latest amendment to the laws of the games and modern arbitration technique with integration file sessions and instant feedback corrections and for referee and assistant. It should be noted that these high-level arbitration courses provided by Djibouti expert, in this case Mr. Mohammed Hussein, physical instructors, and Mr. Ali Ahmed Mohammed, technical instructor, and Aden Rayale Roble, arbitration department technical instructors. During the closing ceremony of the number of Djibouti football, Mr. Suleiman Hassan Waberi said that the arbitration is the cornerstones of football, and for this is the reinforcement of the capacity of the referee is a priority for the federation. For the president of the FTF, this internship is of capital importance, of particular interest in the context. Remember that beyond his titles of president, Suleiman Hassan is also an international instructor of referee and executive members of CAF. Finally, the ceremony is closed with the presentations of the certificate to the participant. Now listen please the interview of the participant for this important sport event.
Somalia, we have our brother from South Sudan. As I say in Somali, we are here today, close ceremony of the course of referee course, regional referee course. We had in Djibouti in 30 to 3 August. We organized this course to tell our referee from the 3 countries. We decided in common agreement with the 3 federations, Somalia and Sudan, Djibouti. We decided to organize this course in Djibouti to improve level of refereeing in that country, that 3 countries. During the 5 days, the instructor of refereeing, they give you all information about refereeing, in technical and physical. You provide the practical session, technical session, video clip. I think you perform maximum acknowledgement during the 5 days. So I will encourage you, when you go back to your country, to apply what you learned here in a field of play.
We regret to announce you the death of the late Medina Ali Sabanna Muhammad occurred this morning at 7 a.m. at the Hararte in the Sagali region, in the region of Tajura. The late Medina Ali Sabanna, aged 82, leaves a large family behind her, including 5 children, including the local generals of the Goda Mountains, Ali Muhammad Gura, and 149 grandchildren and great-grandchildren. His death is announced to the numerous families living in the region of Tajura and Dakhil and in Ethiopia. In these painful circumstances, which are the painful of the experienced family, we send our sincere condolences to this large family, including his son, Mr. Ali Muhammad, main local generals of Goda Mountains, and we pray the good God to welcome him to his eternal paradise. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. And concerning the international scene, Israel's naval forces seized vessels in Gaza on Saturday while in international sea waters and directed to the Israeli seaport of Ashdod, according to the ship's organizers' report.
Boat loaded with aid for residents in the besieged Gaza Strip has been intercepted by Israeli naval forces. The order, carrying at least 23 people, was meant to reach the Gaza port approximately at non-local time on Sunday, but was redirected instead to the Israel port of Ashdod. It was part of flotilla attempting to break at 12-year-old blockade imposed by Israel on neighboring Egypt.
The posters for the second round of the presidential election in Mali, according to preliminary results that have yet to be validated by the Constitutional Court, will oppose Ibrahim Boubacar Keita and Soumaïla Cissé on 12 August report.
They won for 1.4% of the vote in the mostly desert West African country, while rival Soumaïla Cissé won 17.8%. The Minister of Territorial Administration said on Tuesday, 4 days after an election marked by accusation of fraud and attacked by suspected militants that prevented thousands from voting, within the candidate obtained the 15% required to win authority. The two will meet in Iran of vote later this month. Turnout was just over 43%, in line with the historical average that is the lowest in West Africa.
Washington calls for keeping up the pressures on Pyongyang, which criticizes U.S. impatience.
Korea on Saturday said the U.S. was acting with alarming impatience on the issues of denuclearization after Secretary of State Mike Pompeo stressed they needed to maintain full sanctions pressure on Pyongyang. The contrasting comments at a security forum in Singapore came after a new UN report showed Pyongyang was continuing with its nuclear and missile programs and even in sections through ship-to-ship oil transfers. At historic talks with President Donald Trump in June, North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un signed up to the vague commitment to the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula.
And to close up this edition, America is back in space. NASA unveiled the names of the 9 astronauts who will travel to space in 2019 in space capsules from Boeing and SpaceX.
Has named 9 astronauts for the first manned space launches from U.S. Solar since the space shuttle program ended in 2011. The announcement is a milestone in the U.S. space program, with its shift to private sector for flying cargo and astronauts to the International Space Station. Up to now, NASA has had to rely on Russia to fly them there.
This is it for tonight's news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.